For 150 years, science blamed these antlers for killing their owner. The giant deer, antlers spanning 12 feet, the supposed textbook proof of evolution gone fatally wrong. Then, Jay Gould looked at the same skull and saw a masterpiece, not a mistake. So which is it? The crown that doomed a species, or the most misread structure in the fossil record? Forget the size for a moment and look at the schedule. Every spring, a male giant deer grew this entire rack from nothing, and every winter, he threw it away. Antlers are not horns, they are pure bone, and they are disposable. To rebuild 40 kilograms in a single season, his body ran one of the fastest bone growth processes known in any mammal, close to a kilogram of fresh bone every 2 days, fed by a sheet of blood-rich skin called velvet. To put that in perspective, that is bone growing faster than some tumors. And all that raw material had to come from somewhere that would, in the end, matter far more than the antlers ever did. So here are the numbers that earned this animal its legend. Tip to tip, the antlers spanned up to 3.5 meters, a bony arc you could lay a sofa across with room to spare. Each rack weighed as much as a grown man. The deer beneath stood 2 meters at the shoulder and could top half a ton. But the figure that decides this entire story is not in the antlers at all. It is the calcium and phosphorus bill, and where a deer this size was supposed to find it. Why grow a structure this absurd at all? Picture an Ice Age floodplain, 2 giants squaring off, and notice they rarely needed to fight. The antlers were built to be seen. Broad, flat, palmate sheets held out sideways, catching the low autumn sun like shields. A male advertised in a single glance exactly how much surplus health he could afford to waste on decoration. Females read the signal, rivals backed down from it. This is sexual selection at its most extravagant, the peacock's tail rebuilt in bone instead of feathers. The bigger the rack he could grow and still survive, the honestly it screamed his fitness. But a signal that honest carries a brutal cost, and that cost, not the crown, is where this story turns. Line the giant deer up against its living cousins. In every deer alive today, from the modest fallow deer to the bull moose, antler size climbs faster than body size. Double the deer and you more than double the headgear. Jay Gould measured this across the whole family and found the giant deer sat exactly where the line predicted. Its antlers were not a freak runaway, they were the rules taken to their magnificent extreme. The same math that gives a moose its shovels gave this animal its cathedral. Nothing about it was broken. It was simply the largest deer that math had ever been handed. So here is where I part ways with a century of textbooks. The giant deer's weakness was never antlers snagging in trees or dragging its head into the mud. That whole story, evolution lumbering toward suicide, is a myth. The real trade-off was quieter and far more dangerous. To mineralize 40 kilograms of bone each spring, a male had to strip calcium and phosphorus from his own skeleton, then rebuild it by gorging on rich, fast-growing plants. The crown was only ever as safe as the meadow that fed it. And meadows do not last forever. Picture the payoff. A cold morning roughly 12,000 years ago in what is now Ireland. A mature male steps into the open, carrying that 12-foot crown steady, breath steaming, the whole rack swung broadside so every rival can read his strength from 100 meters. For a few weeks each autumn, this is the most magnificent land animal in the northern world. We know the scene intimately.
One Irish site, Ballybeta Bog, south of Dublin, has given up dozens of these males, most of them young, many spent and starved after the rut. The crown that won the season could also empty a body before winter. Then the meadows went. As the Ice Age loosened, the mineral-rich grasslands gave way to forest and tundra, and the giant deer could no longer find the spring feast its antlers demanded. It did not vanish at once. Anthony Stewart and Pavel Kotsintsev traced the last survivors to the Ural foothills, alive barely 8,000 years ago. But the lineage never ended. Its closest living cousin moves through European woodland, the fallow deer, smaller, carrying the same blueprint in a body the climate can still afford. If the giant deer's crown left you reconsidering what you thought you knew, this channel has dozens more stories like it: the misread, the miscast, and the magnificent pulled back out of the rock. Evolution's greatest hits every single week. From Ice Age meadow to a quiet English wood, across 8,000 years, the giant deer never once failed at being a deer. The world simply stopped growing what made it a giant.